Hey, Dr. Libby here. In times of stress, I used to turn to sugar for comfort all the time. My favorites were Oreos and sugary cereals. If you want the specifics, I love the double stuffed Oreos and cereal, almost any, but some of my favorites are Golden Grahams, Cocoa Krispies. And I'll tell you, when you're feeling stressed and you reach to something like that, they do provide some temporary relief. And it would allow me to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'll tell you, that is how I achieved success in my younger years was working hard, pushing hard, and never taking my foot off the gas pedal. And that works until it doesn't work. It worked hard. I worked hard, and this worked for me in my teens and my 20s and my 30s. I worked hard as a student trying to get into medical school. I worked hard as a medical student trying to achieve good grades and get into the residency of my preference. And then when I got out of residency, I pushed hard to be the best doctor I could be while being the best wife that I could be, while being the best mom that I could be. I had a lot of balls up in the air and I wanted to be perfect in all of them. And around 40, something shifted. It started to feel harder. Now, when I say harder, I certainly got out of bed every day. I went to work. I did the things that I had to do. I got my kids to where they needed to be. But when it came to anything else optional, I didn't have the energy or desire to do it. And I remember one day thinking, this cannot be normal. Something has got to be wrong. So I did what a lot of people do. I made an appointment to go see my family doctor to have a physical done. I was convinced it was my thyroid. And I had the physical, and I got the news the next day that everything looked perfect. Keep up the good work. We'll see you back in a year. And there's an initial relief that comes with that news, like, thank goodness they're not finding cancer or some horrendous life threatening disease. But then that's followed with a little bit of disappointment because if nothing is wrong, nothing can be done. And this is how I have to feel for the rest of my life. Now, around this time, I was learning functional medicine, and one of my mentors was talking a lot about adrenal fatigue. Now, I had heard of the adrenals as a conventional doctor, and I knew what they were, but I didn't believe in the term adrenal fatigue. And still, technically, the more appropriate term would be hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis dysfunction. But I think adrenal fatigue is an easier term to understand. I tested my adrenals and they were not in an optimal state at all. And they were the cause of what I was feeling. I identified the problem, I fixed it, and it changed my life. I felt so much better. And I was telling this to one of my conventional medicine colleagues the other day, and she said, Libby, are you sure it wasn't just the placebo effect? Does this really work? And yes, it really works. It was not the placebo effect because you know what? As a conventionally trained doctor, I did not think it was going to work either. I took the supplements and I did what I was supposed to do, thinking this would never work. And I was shocked, so shocked when it actually did. So I still get stressed, but you know what? Now I have strong adrenals and I have awareness, which allows me to pause. One thing I love about being 49 years old is I have 49 years of wisdom and experience to draw upon. And so when I'm feeling stressed and I find myself wanting to reach for my comfort of sugar, I pause and I ask myself, what do you really need right now? Right? Do I need a break? Am I tired? Am I hungry? Is there something other than Oreos that is going to solve my problem, right? Sometimes the answer is no, but many times it's yes. And I give my body what it really needs. Not much changes in life until we hit a roadblock. And I am thankful for the roadblocks I've hit in my life because they've allowed me to see things differently and find another way. And the other way always gets me to a better place than I was at before. If you aren't feeling your best, maybe it's your adrenals. It's time to get them checked and find out. Have an amazing day.